It's your boy Ink. Welcome to our show. This is doing Mobs having a wonderful day on this 19th February 2025. We're about to go out. We're about to have a little bit of a walk. Before we do that, I want to play some of the tower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you guys with Silence, the great Beyond the Silence, the golden silence of Odd. Good news, we deleted some couple of games. We're still going to have a more free um, a more free schedule. I'm gonna be streaming more, and there's gonna be more tower because I didn't play yesterday and I felt bad about it. But before we leave, I have to, of course, make sure that my games are good because we do have a tournament today. So I'll be back in about. Well, I still have something to do. Wait, it's gonna take a couple seconds, not even. Thank you. Nice. Good. Random. Good. Buy one card. Schnitzel. One. Nice. $15. Ugh. That was too horrible. Good. Now I'm gonna press a little magic button. That's gonna give me eternal quietness, but mostly.
Coast clear? It's twice yes or no, I forgot. Coast is clear!
This is good. Okay, and I'm gonna create, we're gonna upload. And let's get ready. Kind of hoping that we get 15. Perfect 15. Nice. Okay, let's go. Let's go and watch this sunset. Yeah, we're a bit late, but you know me. I'm always fucking late, so it's not a big deal. Expect the lateness. Let's go. Perfect. Gonna be live and ready. Right here. No, that is. Yay. Come on, Ink, come on. Gotta hurry up a little bit. And I got my coat. Good. Okay, so we have all of this, and we're ready to go. 5 minutes before the sunset. Should be enough. Can't be safe enough. Shit. Beautiful sunset. Good. Good. Okay. This screen. That's not what I asked, but okay. Now I'm going to show you something really cool, which is this one. Don't blink. It's your boy. Welcome to the Welcome to the Show. Guess we want to having a wonderful day on this 19th February 2025. Just did a lot of shit. Some really cool stuff has been done. Some really cool stuff been done. I don't think that makes a lot of sense, but it somehow does. So now I want to show you. You can see I'm all dressed up, so it's nice. I guess there's no sponges, but hey, there's a beautiful sunrise outside, and I'm gonna take you with me because we're going on a stroll. So finish a bunch of things. Actually, finish everything that I had to do that was not video related or stream related. So I'm gonna come back. I have a tournament on the tower, so we're back at around 6 o'clock. I'm gonna be able to do it, and I'm gonna be able to read a little bit. It's gonna be a fun time. And then we're gonna be streaming my first TikTok stream today. Maybe I don't know if I'm gonna be waiting for tomorrow and just today, just make sure that everything is okay. Oh, I can do a video for the prep. That's cool. Okay, I like it. I like it. So what else further ado? Let's go. Now. Okay, perfect. Okay. So we'll be right back, guys. Da-da-da. Upload completed. Okay. That's good. I got snacking. $11. Aha. 4, 4, 4. Okay. So now, good. I was supposed to do the videos, but well, fuck it. I don't have anything to upload, so might as well listen to Shameless and work a little bit more.
Thought you dropped out?
I made a deal with Fiona. She'll blow her end and I'll be back home chilling in a week.
I'm gonna get the baby up for adoption.
Sometimes I wonder if getting high makes it easier for me to keep up with you or more difficult.
I thought I was in love with Jody. I'm not. I thought it would be cool to have a baby and love it, but no, I suck at it. I thought about aborting it, but I'm this far along, and even though I don't want it, other people probably do, so I figure...
Oh yeah, this is disgusting, Karen.
Add it out and sell it.
Imagine out.
Vag it out.
That's still the truth.
You know, if you are gonna let the baby live, maybe stop smoking weed.
Were Monica and Frank on acid the whole time you were in vitro? Want to go to some adoption agencies with me later? I need someone to play the dad, sign the paperwork. You can help me pick out a good buyer?
Oh, Mr. Haley, how goes it?
Later.
Okay, that's good.
The hell is the schedule you signed up for? Woodworking, auto repair, welding? I'm just trying to learn the skills that can make me a productive member of the working class, Mr. H. You as my guidance counselor should appreciate that. You have any idea what it's like
Aha.
to be a guidance counselor in this shithole? I get one National Merit Scholar every 9
My
years.
father.
So there's not a chance that you're not
Cigarettes.
going to live up to your goddamn potential. Imperial Captain, my captain, are we? I had to teach you and took a special interest in you. That was about your age. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You use a condom? It's a woman. Smart ass. She showed me the way. All right. You still ended up in this job?
I'm gonna eat it.
I had 22 years in the Coast Guard before I got here. And I retired a lieutenant commander. Well, so you're going to take physics, probability and statistics, advanced chemistry, and you're going to take ACT. You're going to get into either Yale or Harvard or MIT. A full academic drive.
Only.
At what point in your career did you realize that your name Dick was becoming a euphemism for cock? Watch your mouth. Yeah, I should stand on this crap all around. And I won't stand around and watch you around. Get your Boys, I'm the biggest munchkin in Munchkin land, verging on jigging, while that falling house called cancer's about to crush the wickedest witch on the south side, my mother, Martha Tears. Fabulous Bloody Mary, Kevin. $3, Frank. You know why I ordered a Bloody Mary? You lack vitamins? He used to make these from Mother on Sundays. Every Sunday. Horseradish, celery, tomato juice, vodka. 4 fingers worth. Bring it to her in her chair like she was the queen of Spain.
They got rid of their royalty.
$3, Frank. I'd bring her a Bloody Mary. She'd sniff it. And then stick the tip of her tongue in it, testing it. And if I didn't get it just right, I'd get a smack.
Yeah, she looked like she did spank her.
Oh, no. Not a spanking. Thought it was half-ass corporal punishment. Thought if you want to make an impression, you gotta hit
Good.
kids where it hurts. In the face with a closed fist, not in the ass with all that padding.
I wish I could punch my kid in the face. It's just like my ex-wife. Tommy, There's Frank Stinson, substitute math teacher, loves Sudoku. There's Frank Salmon, comes in on Thursdays.
When I have to do it. Je uploading this upload. Realm of Pixel. There you go.
I don't need help.
How about a glass of water then?
What is that smell? Did someone come and talk to?
Not me. Let's get you upstairs and clean you up.
Oh! Let me try your bath. Oh. Let me get your bath, sweetie. Let me get your bath.
Is that something for the pain?
They gave me some Vicodin, but I don't want
That is the guy on TikTok who filmed himself
Oh,
sending message to celebrity.
okay. Jeez, open the windows. Y'all have a meth lab. I'm getting hot just standing here.
Lean into it. It's a manageable high.
Who's phoning the barista?
Steve, brought my coffee to his wife. Bad times.
Doesn't give up, does it?
Straight up wear me down. Keeps showing up something online that's too irresistible.
When guys get focused on something, it's hard to get them off. They have one task mind. Kevin,
Don't agree with this, but
now, obsessed with saving this baby.
It's you, the romantic.
One thing's talking about making a baby, another having to raise it from scratch. I don't know if I got what it takes. So much shit you gotta know. SIDS, sleep habits, tooth decay, bullying.
You work in a nursing home. It's like taking care of old people in reverse. Did great with that little Jonah. 7-year-old kid that looks like a baby.
There was one drop-dead gorgeous child, I give you that. What you doing? What? You taking your GED?
I see. And Dylan lived that I'd go back to school if he did. With me?
Who was the fourth president of the United States?
John Quincy Adams. James Madison. Jasmine was right. She didn't knock me out before it's too late. We'd be barefoot and pregnant together.
Right, you?
No.
When's he gonna be back?
For as long as I've been alive, I haven't known the answer to that question.
not sure.
That is the dirtiest white boy in America. You have made a great choice to honor the budding life inside you. Time will tell. I'm sure we'll find the baby a good home.
Find me one.
The Catholic couple that will bless your baby has most likely struggled to get pregnant, so they are committed to having a family.
Are you limited to Catholic families?
Delicious. Pistachio.
Check families for alcohol, abuse, make sure they have nothing in common to stuff. Right, and are the families mostly in the Chicago area or whole state?
Have you looked at other options, like aborting it? Yeah, but my dad tells me further. He doesn't have a heart.
2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10.
I thought there was a separation of church and state. I'm not following. I get the Catholics will throw the big pedophile lawsuits, but how can the government expect me not to smoke or do drugs so that baby doesn't turn out brain damaged or criminal, yet expects me to do all the work for free?
Fuck it, Darren.
All my friends have a baby.
Good.
Which of the following political actions violated the principle of unalienable rights and liberty that evolved from the
Yeah, that's nice.
Declaration of Independence? 1.
Another double.
Second U.S. Supreme Court ruling promoting the expansion of slavery in U.S. territory.
That one.
The multiple choice test. You want to hear the other options?
That one. Hey, you know, I was just by earlier looking for Frank. All too late. You working at the store while you're at school?
When it shows up,
You're looking for Frank.
oh, yeah, I got it.
Dinner in 15 minutes.
I'm gonna head out for a while.
Where were you guys? Football practice. But your coach got arrested.
Your guy stepped in, saved the day.
What do you know about football?
Oh, you can make a pass. Sometime score.
September, October, November, December.
Big scrimmage tomorrow. I say
Three.
celebrate the guaranteed
Alright,
victory
2003.
by cooking a big Brazilian dinner. What do you say, right, Esty?
Let's see.
Tomorrow, come here, cook food. Eat.
Sports. Pack. I'd help.
Yeah.
More people?
Thank you.
Awesome.
See you tomorrow.
Mm.
When Granny back, she promised to teach us how to pull cards. Granny blew up the basement. We could have lost Carl. So she's having a timeout at Sheila's. And you know, when you're having a timeout, you don't get to visit your grandma.
That bullshit.
Taking my GED.
No, that was the deal.
Well, I still gotta earn money. Food, utilities. You finish your senior year, I'll take the GED.
I didn't agree to an equivalent.
It's good enough for the state, it's good enough for me.
Fine, then I'll take my
4, 5,
The
6,
GED is for quitters, not geniuses.
7,
It's the
8,
first day
9,
of the
10.
water wheels, I have to go study.
10, 11, 12.
Why is she still here? What came with the drug? What's with the bed? Jody set it up. Smells in here. I rinsed the bucket twice already. Tell Jody to roll over to a fire station and set
There you go. You're not getting copyrighted.
Why we killing them again? Statutory or catch and release. No problem.
Tim, are you alright? You okay? It's amazing when you start thinking about babies. My testicles have never been my ally. It's a whole other thing shifting from screwing just as, screwing with the purpose of creating a new person. Of course, you know that already. You've proven your sperm can spawn new life.
Yeah, well, it might not be mine, and it's a little different when the baby's deprived and the mother doesn't want it.
Here, decide what you want to do yet?
Now we're seeing a family attorney this morning. Asked me again after school.
You back in school?
Yeah, I promised Neil and I'd go back if she did.
Yeah, when I was back in high school?
Trying to get her GED. She'll fail, and I can quit again.
She won't fail, she's smart.
Yeah, but not school smart.
Dude, who the hell around here is going to go to school if the one really smart guy quits?
It's not my problem.
I disagree. You want to quit something, quit trying to make your life complicated. Go to school, enjoy being smarter than everyone, and become master of the universe. I mean, fuck.
What if I don't want to be master of the universe?
Tough. You gotta be one of those ridiculously rich, successful dudes to put my kid through college someday. No pressure.
Incredible. Let's go dancing. Christ. I should have ate more salad. You want to take one now? Oh. Get your coffee, Fiona.
She seemed reluctant. Yeah, come back.
Reluctant.
Then you better have one for her.
Somehow, I've been banished to ride this out in a stranger's house where none of my grandkids come to visit me, and my son ran away with all the painkillers he brought. Drug run. All right. So are you. Monica. Fred's ex. She was a bitch. You're not a bitch. How do you do that?
Ay, ay, ay.
The nice thing. I was a shitty mother. Shitty. What are you gonna do? Cry? No. 3 of my 4 sons turned out all right. None of them are incarcerated currently, so I'm not gonna complain. I'm sorry I pointed that gun. Not easy to be over here. I have no idea. He said 24 hours on his mouth already. Where is he? Well, my dad finds out about this, he will kill me himself. I put 16 bars, the homeless shelter, Shantytown under the L, your house, Maddie Sheila. Where the fuck is he? I don't know. Bullshit! More than I hate him more than you do. Less when I'm working my hours this week. I'm done. Frank's walking on Fiona and all of her boyfriends, walking on living his role. We got nothing to do with no fucking work. You can't. No, I don't want you to. What did I just say to you? Done is done. We did the boyfriend and girlfriend hanging up with a warm mouth to me. Sorry, I gotta go kill your dad, but I'm doing a lot of people a favor. Who are you? I check the alibi. I got this. We got your back. I know you do, but I got it. All right, they break this too. Okay, so get the next one. We're coming. Grab a mask. Sally.
Come in.
I didn't know if you remembered me.
Of course, Mr. Daly, how are you?
Oh, I'm going into full pension. Daily.
Congrats. What's up?
Lips been expelled.
What?
For jail for winning.
Expelled?
Smoking dope in the bathroom. Telling teachers to F off. But I called around a few friends. I used to coach wrestling over at McKinney. They're big. But they won't put up with any of the smart ass stuff. Don't let them screw it up.
Why'd you quit drinking?
First time I quit, I woke up one morning after I slept with my best friend's fiance. You know, really, really awful.
Bad hangover, huh? Gin or tequila?
Beer. I made a list for the top 50 stupidest things I've ever done. All 50 were done wrong. My parents were fine.
Stop. Fail these.
Foul purpose.
Was.
Hey, Christina.
Seriously, dude? Seriously? Please do.
All right. Gotta go. Got time.
Take? I need a pen. Oh. According to a list of particular rosters, 5 stages of death, and your niece understands. I was just trying to get hit by a bus so my family could sue the city. You're facing death in seconds, and that's good. Oh. Do you have a plastic bag? Are you gonna be sick to your stomach? I need a plastic bag. Ziploc or garbage? Anything will do.
Hey, officer. What are you doing? Smiling my probation? Got it.
Go into the light. Go into the light. Oh,
It's not working.
be brave.
I can't die looking at you.
Close your eyes.
It's too hot. Hold my nose. Suffocate me.
Really?
Yeah, say my ears, the bag, but it'll go quicker.
Which way was it?
Spin it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still breathing out of this mouth.
Okay, well, I can cover my other
No, my survival instinct will kick in and I'll just end up biting you.
How about a pillow?
Strong enough to hold it over my face and finish the job.
Well, I'm strong enough to try.
If I give you permission. Oh.
Do you give me your permission to hold this pillow over your face?
I do.
Hitler Sheila.
Bye, Peg.
Don't pussy out on me.
Go back to the light! Go back to the light! You're too tough for today! Go into the light! Stop
Great episode.
For those of you who are too fucking busy, here's what happened last week on Shameless.
Karen, when do you want me to come back in? That girl on your list, don't knock her up. She'll get a job at Best Buy. Like from that point on, you won't be able to hold a job very long because you'll know the truth. Maybe you never lived up to your potential.
Let me get the baby up for about how much do we get for the baby?
I introduce you to a couple parents that want to stop losing your broker. Okay, you're the one that's refusing to date Mandy so you can fuck her brother.
The more I figure out that joke's sitting on my sofa wearing your wedding ring, and then we'll talk.
Still, give up.
You do anything this afternoon? We need a coach.
You know what else?
Never miss.
Call me Bill. Or you can tell me. Need an alibi. How much? 1,500.
What are you doing? Sending cash to my son. That will make Frank very happy.
Frank gets none. And Monica, over Frank. Me and Monica are dead now. She's still married to me.
I have never, ever had any intention of getting back together with you, Frank. Spells?
Good. Got a couple more. Special. Number 4. 2 more. Good.
Good morning, sweetheart. Mom. We don't have any money.
Mimosa?
Hello? What? What? Oh, okay. What? Well, how much is that gonna cost? I have to call you back with an answer.
Mm.
Oh, thanks. So sorry.
She was my mother. I'm the one who's hurting her.
No, that was a Cook County Hospital board. You need to claim her body.
I am done running around trying to...
Bernie got Debbie.
Mm.
So broken.
Woo, baby. What a good meal.
How long is she staying? Will we forever and a day?
Hey, my camel pants still in the dryer? How is she doing here? I asked your mother to come home. Oh, wait, you live here now too?
I made breakfast.
Yeah, no thanks. Your mom spent a lot of time making that breakfast. Sit down, eat it. Bullshit.
And wait.
Gonna wash his mouth out with soap.
Wash mine out. I want to fart bubbles. Oh, honey. Mom, it's so big. Come on, baby. I made you breakfast. Sit down and eat. Where's Lip?
I'm all shut up today. She doesn't...
Sit down and eat.
I'll be watching you in about 2 hours if I play Top Squad. Okay, let's go. Got a couple of videos to do. Got a tournament to run. So, without further ado, let's fucking go. Oh, let's go. What do you have to do? I'm gonna text Janice first. What's up? Let me see. Let me see. No. Yep. Okay, let's go. Let's go, Ink. Gotta do something with your life. Okay, I have a good idea for a video. Usually we make another video for a oh shit. Usually I make another video for the tournament, but now I'm gonna keep it because that's the because. Make sense? Make no sense? Okay, no problem. That's good. Okay. Shit. Start. 55. Okay. Get some coffee. If and only if that's the case. No. Let's go. Okay, so now we're gonna be switching to the tournament. Good. Skip. Tournament. Thank you. Nice. Skip. Nice. Okay. What am I doing this? Skip equal tournament. Cool. And lastly, but not the least, welcome back. Got two. Do 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 do. Since it's gonna be like this, I'm gonna open the door. That way the phone doesn't get too hot. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, let's go. Let's go, Ink. Gotta work your way out. Out of what? Yourself. Let's make that video. Don't blink. It's your boy Ink. No. Ink. A little bit of. Come on, man. Don't blink. It's your boy Ink. Welcome to the show. This is because you're doing well on this 19th February 2025. This is my first video in, like, I'm not even joking, 3 days. And yes, we did some video here and there. But this is very much the first video that I wanted to do. There's no daily planning today because, again, the day already started. The day was very busy today. I went out on a walk, but it was more so about... How can I say that? I had a couple of drinks. My apologies. Which is actually why we're doing this video. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does for me. So... This doesn't have anything to do with the video in itself, but this is why we're making this video, actually. So, yesterday we finished watching One Piece, right? And today was just about, okay, well, you had all of this information, but you were busy watching the show versus taking notes, right? Because it's a long story, but basically speaking, no, we'll get into it. And the subject of the video is, why do I work so much, right? So lately you've been hearing me talk about a lot about addiction to working, addiction to corn, addiction to food. Are you seeing this? We're having a tournament, so I have to actually check out this, making sure that this is okay. No, thankfully we're seeing it on the screen. So, yeah, we're filming, but this is also a little bit of a, how do the French say it? The French possibly say something along the line of a miroir. We're talking about a lot about addiction, right? And then I took a couple of days off. I took a week off last week, right? And I had a lot of time to think, right? One of my addiction, once again, is working hard. I had a lot of time to think, why am I working so hard? And the answer was a couple of things. The idea for this video came also from yesterday. Yesterday we were making we were reviewing a Orange Crush, which is kind of like a soft drink but with orange, right? So along the line of Pepsi, along the line of 7-Up, along the line of a lot of these products, and I was like, why is that so important to me? So the Orange Crush, and again, this is a side tangent. This is really a side tangent, but we're going somewhere. I promise you. As a kid, it was my favorite drink, and I was like, okay, well, why was it your favorite drink? I couldn't pinpoint the reason why. And I was making the video, I remember some good memories that pushed me to drink more Crush when we're going to the parties, right? And then as I continue with the video, another memory came back to me about why I was preferring to drink Crush. And now I had these two conflicting thoughts. And I was like, okay, well, it can be the both of them, right? But why did I only remember, or why did I have to talk about something to remember something else, right? And it felt kind of weird because in a perfect world, they're like, okay, well, these memories are accessible to me, but they weren't accessible, right? So when I talk about how hard I work, which is, again, one of the stories that I've been really, really focusing on lately, my addiction to work, my workaholism, and I've been, as I told you, I went to reunion. We stopped making content for a week, but we didn't stop going to the reunion. Trust me. And it's you know, it's a bunch of stuff. And I was thinking about it. I was like, what if just like the Orange Crush, what if my version for it was completely messed up, was completely different? What if what I told you was only perceive IDs, perceive context, perceive concept? I think that I'm a workaholic because X, Y, and Z, right? But maybe X, Y, and Z are excuses that I give myself. Maybe they're the tip of the iceberg, right? But it's still an iceberg. So today I wanted to make a video, and it's funny because when you look at it, technically speaking, today, by the way, we're the 19th of February. I seen the date, and I think I forgot the date. But if you look at last week, I was talking about that a lot. I was thinking about how it affects me. I was talking about the fact that I have an addiction. But I never really wondered why I have this addiction. It's like, and I guess it makes sense. Because to the reunion I go to the AAs for addiction. And you know that's what it is. That you know that's why. You know, okay, well, I have a problem with drinking alcohol. The reason as to why is because I drink alcohol because it makes me feel something. It makes me escape something. Oh, I like the feeling of it. I like the aspect it gives me. I like the person I am when I drink. I like the sensation that I have when I'm drunk. Life is hard, so I need to drink. There's a lot of reason, right? But I never give myself, and of course I'm giving you guys the reason as to why. I've thought of it as a journal entry, sort of as a shrink session, a session at, you know, with a shrink, and he asks you, okay, well, why do you think that you have these problems? Like, well, doctor, and I never took the time to do that. And of course, it's a beautiful video to make, and I'm so glad that this is the first one we're doing. I'm so glad that this is the first one we're doing because again, it matters, but matters so much to me, to a degree where it's almost nonsensical at what point this matters to me. Because if you can find a reason as to why you're doing things, I don't know, was that an excuse that can be able to use? For example, when I learned that I had ADHD, I right away started using ADHD as an excuse. And to this day, I still do it. Right? Or is it something that's therapeutic? And like when I make those videos, right, I'm talking to myself and I talk about how therapeutic it is. But am I really pushing forward the idea that, okay, well, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed? Or am I just saying, I don't mind fixing that. It's not a big deal. My addiction to workaholic is one of the biggest problems in my life right now, right? So, for example, I am, again, we're putting cards on the table, right? We're going with the truth, we're going with honesty, we're going deeper than you want me to go. But that's fine, because this is a journey, this is a session with a shrink. And at the shrink, you don't keep secret. I've been working. I was looking for work. I've ended up going back to the agency, and I'm on call. Most of the time, I'm going to be on call for snow. I'm going to be on call for X, Y, Z. Mostly like 1 day, 2 days job. Because it's the winter, and they have a harder time to give you a job, right? A lot of the construction companies are going to be closed for winter. And yeah, so what people do is, in the construction industry, what they do is they work crazy hours during the summer, and then they get unemployment for the winter, so they're good, right? So in my case, what ends up happening is I have this job, and I have to ask myself, did I really, really push forward the effect of I'm looking for a job? I did give out CVs, but even then, when you say I give out CVs, in this, again, we're going side tangent, but trust me, we're going some places. When you give out CVs, were you really trying to get a job? It's one thing like, hey, I have bills to pay, I'm going to try to find a job. And then you, hopefully, really hopeful, you go to the places that you're showing interest to. Well, I wouldn't mind working here, right? I have a friend, she's working in a art gallery. And this wasn't the first place that she applied. This wasn't the first time that she applied, but she finally got the job. And she pushed it, and she pushed it, and she pushed it. Luckily for her, she was able to keep other job in the background. And just waiting for the timing, right? And I don't have that mentality. I'm not a guy that can wait. So what I'll do is I'll wait until the last minute, and I'm like, yo, I need a job. I remember with the job that I had, last job that I had, it was the 26th of July. I remember that. And again, I told you guys this story multiple times, and I'm going to tell you again because I think it's important. Because again, this is a workaholic, right? It was July. It was July. It was the 20, I don't remember. I think it was the 24, 25, 26, but I know it was the last week before the rent. And I had a janitor that was keeping the money. And I was super lucky because I was living here this was in 2018. I moved here in 2012. This is my apartment, by the way. So that's 6 years, and he trusted me. And I was lucky for that because, well, technically speaking, 6 years is 12. That's 72 months of paid rent. I never missed a month. And I remember not having a job, and I remember going to the store because I was just chilling. I was just downloading videos, and I was like, oh, I still get unemployment. I'm gonna be okay, right? And I remember those days I would stay in the agency, not the agency. Sorry, I would stay in the store for the whole day because I had Wi-Fi. So I would bring my battery pack. I would bring a battery pack. I would bring the phone, and I would download videos. Right, and I would say from 10 when they open to around 7 when they close, I think. And I would just stay there. And I remember going to the store to get some food. It was a bag of chip, right? some Oreos, in a 2 liters of soft drink, possibly $20 something, right? And I go to sit down, and I go to pay, and I pass a card, and it doesn't work. So I said, "Oh, sorry, I must have problem with the chip," because I had problem with the chips. Just took the card, clean it, right, and I did it again, and then she said, "No, sir," and she showed me the which we call it, like the little thing that says what's the problem, and it was written insufficient funds. So then I go right away, and it's the 26 July, and I go in and I go to I go to fill up the unemployment so I can get 2 weeks of unemployment, just to realize I'm out. The last 2 weeks were when I had. I was like, okay, I'm not getting a check. I'm not getting this, right? So what I did, I called my boy at agency. I was like, yo, I really need a job. He's like, oh, I don't work here anymore. And again, it was 2 years before I didn't call him, right? And that guy was super nice, Michael Tacey. Un gros shout out à Michael Tacey. Un amour, ce gars-là. This guy was a fucking homie of mine. He was a really nice guy. He was living in Lachine too, and he would get lifts from drivers because he was a agency worker. And he would make sure that I had a lift, even though I wasn't working with him that day. Because like, at what time you're working? 7 o'clock. Okay. Oh, I'm leaving at 5:30. You want to come to the office? Just wait for 45 minutes. It's gonna take you more time than the bus. Because if we take the bus, that's an hour 15, an hour 30. So I'd rather wait 45 minutes in a freaking lift, not pay money, because it was free, right? So I called Michael, and Michael, the last time I called him, it was when I quit the last job that I had, and it was like, I remember I think it was January, February, and I remember that it was a year before that, and it was July. So yeah, that was a long time ago. And he left the job and said, yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do. And then next day he got me the job, and that was the job that I had for 7 years, right? And but I waited till the last second, right, for cash. And so the problem with me is, I think I don't mind having a job. I'm gonna work hard. If there's overtime, I'll be the first to put my name for overtime. I always say yes to overtime. But it's like, when I don't work, I don't work, And it's also a question of mentality. I feel like a lot of the job that I had, when I left them, or when I got fired, surprisingly enough, I got fired 3 times out of the 10 plus job that I had. Most of them I quit. The problem with that is, when you quit the job, and again, we're trying to see past the tip of the iceberg. We're trying to see deep down the iceberg, right? We're trying to understand, how does the brain of ink work, right? Taking away ADHD, taking away every single thing that makes me, just as a human being, just as what I know about myself, right? Repressed memory or not repressed memories. A shrink therapy session. So I go in, I'll leave a job, right? And I'll have this mentality of, oh, right, I'm on vacation, right? Now, I know most of you are human. When I say most of you, I hope that it's all of you, and there's not a fucking bot watching. But we all have that feeling on Friday, right? Where everybody's in a good mood, and we're leaving for the weekend. And on Friday, we don't care about what's going on, right? We're going party, we're having fun, right? And then comes Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon actually, and you're thinking like, oh, tomorrow, right? And you hate it. So when you have this unemployment, you have this like vacation, I will say, and the vacation don't want it to end, right? So you keep on pushing it, and you keep on pushing it, and you keep on pushing it, right? You're like, okay, well, guess what? This is actually pretty good, right? But then at the same time, you realize that you applied to a lot of jobs, right? And because you applied to a lot of the jobs, per example, right? And you don't even notice it. For example, right? The strength in which you shake a hand. Now, this is kind of crazy. This is really crazy. So, I think it's more like, I don't know. I think it's for a professional type of things, but you'll put a handshake. And at first, if you go too soft, you'll look weak, right? Which is not good. You don't want to look weak. But if you go too strong, you look too intense, and that can intimidate people. So there's almost a non-written agreement when it comes to the amount of strength put into a handshake, right? Now, when you meet a stranger, right? It's very, very, very different. I mean, a stranger, right? I remember my first time with stranger. You see, with stranger, it's a weird thing, right? It's a really weird thing. I, as a kid, didn't need anybody. I was focused on my video games, my shows. Didn't care about anybody. I didn't even spend time with my parents, right? And it's nuts. It is nuts. It is really nuts. So I remember my first experience with stranger was in a tattoo shop, right? And people, complete strangers, start talking to me, right? And I didn't know why. Maybe I looked like a regular because I had a lot of tattoos. I have a lot of tattoos. So and they start talking to me, and it was kind of like this almost uncomfortable space because, like, I don't know you, dude. Like, for example, right now, right? I'm getting a lot of people on TikTok who are DMing me, and you see, if it was last year, I would answer, right? Because again, I'm trying to make this work. If anything else, I'm trying to make this work. The fucking pen to okay, we'll take a knife. This is not a knife. Do not strike this. So, right? If it was last year, I would answer those people. But now this year, I'm trying to be nicer, right? I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna answer you. None of this is bullshit. Like, for example, yesterday, right? And I really tried. And again, it's gonna sound, you're gonna hear the story and you're gonna say, oh, Ink, you didn't really try. But this is such a fucking fucked up moment. So, Nazdrovia, coffee. Deep, tipsy myself. So good. This person, I don't know them, and they send me a message. I don't know what it is, and it's like, share a live video. Usually when people will share a live video, it's themselves. So I go in and I open somebody else. Okay, I go in, I receive another DM 30 minutes ago. It's another live video from a different person. I don't answer because I know it is, and I don't know that person. Again, do I think that because I don't know you, your stream or your life cannot be interesting? I'm not saying that at all. I think it can be pretty interesting. However, I'm just saying that I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, I feel if I feel kind of guilty. There's a lot of my friends are streamers or content creators, and I'm like, what am I doing in a stream of somebody that I don't know when I could be helping a friend, right? Like, for example, Sir. Yesterday I was in for he was streaming for like 12 hours. Sir wins a lot 03 on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitch, and on TikTok. One of my boy. I fucking love that guy. And no, I just came in and said hi, and I think I stayed like, I think it was like 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, because yesterday was a really big day. We're gonna talk about that. Don't worry. We're gonna talk about that. Do not worry. This is gonna be a long video, by the way, if you didn't notice. So yeah, and I was like, this is a cool stream. But then the problem with Sir, and again, it's not his fault, but the problem with Sir is he's playing this game called Rocket League, and the community, the people that were in his chat were kind of toxic, and they were kind of toxic to him. Like, for example, oh, you could have saved this. Oh, you could have blocked this shot. Oh, you didn't do a good job. And at first, I feel bad for the guy. Of course I feel bad for the guy. It's my boy. I love him. But then I'm like, dude, you. And again, I'm not judging. I'm not judging at all. But I'm like, dude, you know that this community is toxic. So you kind of put yourself through it. It's like again. I hope I'm not offending anybody because it's gonna be a touchy subject. It's like this girl, right? And I don't know this girl. I'm gonna call her Jane Doe. Okay. And Jane Doe, she has a boyfriend, right? And Jane Doe, because she has a boyfriend, that boyfriend hits her, right? So when we see Jane Doe and we see her bruised up, I'm like, Jane, what are you doing with that guy, right? And at first, you feel bad for Jane, right? Because she's getting beat up. But then, you realize that Jane had multiple occasions to leave this behind, to leave the dude in question. We'll call him Jim Doe, because they're married, you know? Jim and Jane Doe are married, right? And then you realize that Jane, even though that she had multiple chances to leave, she didn't leave him. So then you start feeling less bad for Jane. You still understand that it's a fucked up situation. But at the same time, you feel like Jane, you could have done something, right? Could have done something before. I had this this girl, right? Completely opposite. So with Sir, I feel like that's it, and I just left because it was toxic. It was the chat was toxic. I'm like, dude, it's not a good environment, you know. And the other guy, I want to support the guy, but if I cannot look at the chat, you know. So this girl, right, and you guys know her. I talked about her a lot. This relationship that we had. So I made a long video about how it didn't end up together, and I think it did. I think it was the answer to Summer, the video, which is a 50 minutes answer to a girl called Summer. The girl called Summer, she wrote me 3 comments that were fucking paragraph. Like, you think I write a lot? You think, like, we're talking about more writing than this, right? Yeah, more writing than this, a shit ton. And you see, with that, and I was like, oh, two broken people cannot fix each other, right? And the girl, we kind of had a thing, and then when she ended things, and this is the first time I do that, and I was so proud of myself. When I ended things, she asked me, I want to be friends. And I'm like, I don't want friends, I'm good, right? And I told her that, and again, maybe it make me look like an asshole, but I'll tell you a secret. I'd rather be the asshole that looks like an asshole than the asshole who pretend like he's not, right? Me not being friend with her or not wanting to be friend with her, if that make me an asshole, I'm an asshole. That's life. So a week after that, she blocked me right away. She blocked me, and I'm like, oh, fuck, okay. After a week after that, she unblocked me. And I'm like, and she started conversation. She's like, hey, how are you? And we start talking, right? And I'm like, she's like, oh, I miss you. It was actually really sweet. And then we start talking, and it's going well. And then there's a day, and again, I told this story before, right? But this is going to be important to the general concept of this video. It's going to be very important to this general concept of this video. Very important in the genesis. And again, it's things that happened not too long ago, so they weren't part of the genesis of Ink, but they're part of the genesis of how my mind is right now. They're part of the current state of thoughts, the current state of mind, you know? And that's important because we care about your past, right? Care about your past, but you don't remember how you felt. You don't remember what you were thinking. I remember falling down that hole. I don't remember what I was thinking, right? So she started talking to me, right? And then there's a couple of days in, we're talking. I think it's the second day we're talking. And she's like, hey, I'm in a bad mood. I just need space. I'm like, okay, no problem. I understand that, right? And then, so the next day I make sure that she's okay, and she seems okay. We have a talk. She say, hey, thank you. Then for 4 days, she doesn't text. Which usually she'll text me. See, it's complicated. I'm not usually the guy that's gonna write down first, even to friends, not even a love interest, but to friends. I'm not a guy that's gonna write to people first, because I have a very movable schedule. Like, I'll need to make videos, but if I do them 15 minutes before or 15 minutes after, there's no problem. It's still the same video, right? So, and I find people with a 9-5 and say, oh, you have a schedule? Okay, I'll respect your schedule, no problem. I don't have a schedule. You have a schedule, we'll take your schedule, right? I think it's pretty normal to do. So then, for 4 days, she doesn't talk to me, right? I'm like, okay. And, that's gonna make me an asshole, but when it was a girl that I really like, it went fast, it went like a fucking tornado, but it was really cool when it lasted, you know, and I really like that girl. You saw me crying because of that situation, you know. You saw me having doubts, and every single day we were fights, but she would make the effort, and it wasn't a fight of, oh, fuck you, with a fight that, I don't like that, make me feel like that. So I'm like, fuck, I didn't want to make you feel like that, you know. But then, weirdly speaking, when it was over, I felt relieved, right? And that's not normal if you're in a relationship or you have a love. I hope I'm fucking recording. I am. Cool. Right? So you go in and you're like, okay, well, if that's not normal, then I feel like that, maybe it wasn't meant to be, right? And when she asked me, hey, want to be friends? I'm like, no, because I wanted to cut the bridges. And then when she started talking, I didn't I'm sorry. I didn't need to talk to her. I didn't feel that, I didn't feel the need to talk to her, right? Even my father is gonna text me. He just texted me. He texted me at 6:17. It is 7:24, and I love my father. It's one of my favorite people in the world. But he texted me, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "Dad, we talked yesterday, right? Except if I'm in fucking accident, I'm good. I was good yesterday. I'm pretty good today. And I love him, but I'm not gonna talk to him every day, right? This is gonna be, this seemed like something that's off track. When you really understand the genesis of what is the concept of this video, why I work so much, this is crazy, right? This is insane. So then we start talking, and that the day where she texted me back, she was like, "Yo, I need you now." And she texted me, "I need you now." And I was at a reunion, so I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" She's like, "Can I call you?" I'm like, "No, I'm at a reunion." She said, "Okay, well, can you call me after?" I said, "Okay, no problem." Then the rest of the reunion, I was worried. So as I got out of the reunion, I text her and she calls me. And I don't know why. The microphone on this one didn't work, right? Or it's not a microphone. What is this called? The audio. It doesn't work, right? See here. Do you hear it? Now we fix it. You can see that we fix it here. So it really helps, right? But I didn't hear her. And then I was like, dude, I'm wait until I'm home. I have three things. I have this one I can use Instagram. I have this one I can use Instagram. I have this one I can use Instagram. This one I can't talk, but the two others I could. I have a computer I can use Instagram. I'm good, right? And then she told me like, "Oh, I feel like you do it on purpose." I'm like, dude, I was always there for you. What are you saying? Right? I had a friend. This is this summer. And we cut ties. We were friends for 3 years, and she started getting a lot of hate, and I was getting a lot of hate too. And she said, "Oh, it's weird that we have hate at the same time." And I'm like, "What you mean? See, are you behind the comments that we're getting?" And I was like, "Dude, are you kidding me?" And this girl, the number of shots I gave her, the number of time I told her, "Hey, you should be streaming," and right now she's streaming right now, so, and it was a fucked up situation. But to come back to her, and then she started giving me shit. And she said, I can tell that she was in a bad mood, right? And I was like, "Hey, we're gonna end this conversation here. Text me tomorrow." And she's like, "Why?" I said, I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight." And she's like, "Yeah, but we're already fighting." I said, "Okay, then continue talking. Then continue fighting. I'm not here." Then she stopped. And after that, I was like, "Dude, I'm not comfortable in this." And I texted her, "I don't want to talk to you anymore." And then she blocked me. Right? And then she blocked me. There's a couple of things that was said after that, but I'm not going to say it because it's personal, first of all. And second of all, if a person knows who she is, I don't want them to be mad at her, right? We say hurtful stuff when we're heartbroken, or we're in pain, whatever. So yeah, so it was this case, right? And this was, and the first thing that I thought, I was like, well, this is not good. And I was ashamed because when I thought it was not good is because this is so complicated. This is it's when mad men become insane. She represented three things, right? She was a relationship interest, right? Which is social, which is replacing porn. Because again, you watch porn for what? To have a release. Romance interest equal release, right? She was a comfort zone, right? Because with a comfort zone, she replaced what? She replaced food. You're right. She wanted attention. She wanted my time, which is completely normal. And she demanded it. Which replaced what? My free schedule to make content. I have a free schedule, but I have to talk to her. So 3 problems solved. And the first thing that when we stop talking, I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. This is pressing matters. Oh, fuck. Okay. Fuck. good. Oh. What happened? Shit. Well, it's part two. Don't blink if you blink. Welcome to part two of why we working so much. Why I work so much. So last thing that I said, little recap. Well, I'm not gonna be able to recap 20 minutes quickly, so I'm gonna forget about this. And we're talking about how separating from my ex made me fall back into the tree. The tree. It's crazy. It is insane. The tree. Well, at the same time, it makes a lot of sense, right? There's a method to madness. They call it the eye of the storm, right? So there's a tornado, and you're in the middle, and because you're in the middle, you're safe, right? So you have this. Now, with my ex, because it didn't work, like, fuck, it's not good for my. The first time I said, fuck, I hurt her, right? The second time I did, fuck, this is not good for my remission or my healing of the tree addiction. Once again, the tree addiction being porn, food, and content, workaholic, right? So I'm like, fuck, and I'm like, I knew there was gonna be some consequences. I said, okay, well, I have to focus on one, because it's not good to focus on three, right? It's like giving up cigarettes and drinking the same day. You can't do that. Well, you can, but it's not recommended. Or is it? I don't know. Fucking, I'm not a doctor. So I'm like, okay, well, and the people that follow the channel and actually knows, which is a handful. By the way, 19 February, which is important because if you were to follow up, because if I put them like that, nobody's gonna know what I'm talking about. Right? It's always a story. It's always like another chapters, right? So, if you guys saw me yesterday, we ate some chips, right? Which is a relapse and eating junk food. If you, well, you didn't see me masturbate, thank God. But yeah, there were some mishaps here. But you guys have seen less content in the last couple of days, right? Which is, again, it's an effort of my healing, right? And I love making content. Like right now, we're going to make an hour video again, right? And why? Just because we didn't make some video for a while. So I missed it. And because I missed it, I'm going to do it, right? It makes sense? It makes sense. Cool. I'm glad that's clear. Now, ultimately speaking, the problem with that is, I was like, okay, well, right? See, the video is why we're working so much, right? But it doesn't answer this question. Why are we the way we are? Because work is, you see, that's actually a good question. What is work, right? For my father, work is for my father, work is something that makes you money. Okay, for my mom, it's something where you have to put effort in, right? So I'm in the middle, and I'm like, okay, well. And for me, work is something that you do that you enjoy. Because I saw so many people, and I was one of them for a while, not enjoying their job, sacrificing their happiness for a piece of paper. I'd rather be broke and happy than rich and sad, right? And I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna work, I'm not gonna film, and so a lot of people saw that there was a lack of videos. So lack of videos, we can agree that there were still some videos being made, but a lot less. Like instead of we're literally streaming or making videos for the better part of 4 or 5 hours a day. Right now, we're gonna be increasing that because we're gonna do a TikTok live every day, a TikTok live gaming because we're starting that starting tomorrow, and yeah, so that's gonna be good because it's social interaction, so it's not so much work, which we're gonna get into later on. So I'm like, okay, well, at least I'm not working, right? And then it appeared to me it was a fucking lie, because when the girl, and again, you're like, okay, well, why did you talk about your ex? Well, there's a reason for that. With the girl being my ex, I didn't want to make content because I was not in a state of mind. I'm gonna make videos sometimes where I'm gonna complain, I'm gonna rant. Sure, that's not the majority of the content. The majority of the content is just a dude who's asking questions, just a dude enjoying his life, right? So I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna film video because I don't want to film video. I didn't feel like it. I feel like we just lost somebody that was close to us, let's fix ourselves first. We don't want to hurt other people, right? And I don't know why we say we. Possibly me and my lawyer, Dr. Vendetta, we had to add a mortgage, but it was him that had the idea to eat junk food yesterday to prove that what I was saying was right. And what was it? Yesterday we ate junk food and it felt good, and today I'm craving it. I'm craving it, but I only have to resist another 3 hours and a half, right? And then the store gonna be closed, so I'm not gonna be able to get junk food. Maybe that's why this video is so long. Maybe that's why this video is so long. Maybe that's why, right? Who knows? Who even knows? So we're continuing the subject, right? So I go in, right, and I'm like, I'm not making videos, and then because I'm not making videos, I'm like, okay, well, I get to relax, I get to chill. So for me, relaxing is transferring over. During the last week, we transferred over 400 videos from the main channel to the gaming channel. Why we're transferring videos is because when I started making content, I was making gaming content. Now I need to transfer the video. I need to turn it to the gaming channel. That way, the gaming channel have the gaming channel as the gaming content since day one. Make sense? Makes sense. Cool. So now what happened? What happened? So good, and it's so fucking good. So see, there's a muscle memory. So when I'm at the AAs, right, they talk about a habit, right? So the AAs they have a habit, and again, I'm not judging. They have a habit of drinking, right? So a lot of people find comfort in drinking. It can be water, it can be juice, it can be 7-Up, it can be Sprite. They find a lot of comfort in drinking because they're feeling that familiar sensation of drinking, of having a liquid in your mouth, right? The first liquid, gooey liquid, shout out. So by doing that, what happened is you have this, for example, when you're hungry, right? You eat gums because you're chewing, and your body's saying, okay, well, the food's coming in, right? Or when you're craving cigarettes, a lot of people are you're gonna see them doing this with a pen or with something else, like this, because there's a muscle memory for it, and that muscle memory associate this action with comfort, right? So for some people, this feeling is comfort. For some people, this feeling is comfort, right? So you're gonna do this, and this muscle memory is gonna say this is associated with, right? It's like when you burn yourself, and that's the insanity behind it. And again, don't worry, side tangent, when we're going back to the story, there's a really, really precise reason why I'm talking about this, right? When you burn yourself, right, you burn yourself. I don't think anybody in their life know that fire is dangerous without burning themselves, right? Well, I heard fire is dangerous. Yeah, sure. You tried it, you know it's dangerous, right? Same feeling. So I'm on my phone the whole day, either filming or uploading. So when I wasn't filming, I didn't have videos to upload. Make sense? Makes sense. Cool. We're on the same page. Cool. But I've had the phone on my hand the whole time. So this action for me is natural. And if I don't do it, it doesn't feel natural, right? So we were on gaming, right? And we started to add a lot of mobile gaming. Then I gave the excuses that everybody can do mobile gaming. No, I need to have my phone in my hand. It's therapeutic for me, you know? One of those games was One Piece. Nice Treasure Cruise. I wanted to get back into One Piece, and people were talking about One Piece. And then what ended up happening is, okay, so that's complicated. With One Piece, I play, okay, so I do recap of One Piece, the whole One Piece. So right now, we took a break after the Arlong Pirates. So the Arlong Pirates is what? Is 40? No, it's more than that. Let's call it Even Steven 50. Let's call it Even Steven, right? So then you move on. Wait a second. Arlong Pirates and it's Logtown. Yeah. Logtown is around fucking... Okay, yeah. We'll say 60 for Arlong Pirates. We're at 60, right? So what ended up happening, I'm like, okay, well, I play this game, and it's a fun game. One Piece Treasure Cruise is a fun game. So I'm playing the first one, and I'm playing the second one, and I'm playing the third one, and then, so what it does is, it's covering the arc. So, for example, the Syrup arc, the Arlong Pirates arc, the Logtown arc, the Whiskey Peak arc, you get the point, the Alabasta arc. And what I do, and I like the game, right? But I already, in 2 or 4 days, I reach Arlong Park. So I'm like, okay, well, if I want to play a game, I need to watch One Piece, right? Now, what ended up happening is, I'm watching One Piece, and I realize that they have a little message on the top. And that little message on top tells the following. Last day to watch the show, 19 February. Now, I don't know if you guys remember. Maybe you forgot. It's okay. What was the date today that I said? What was it? I said a precise date. Yeah, I mentioned the dates. What was it? The date I mentioned? Something about the February, right? Can it be 19 February? I think it was, right? So if you guys know, this is the end of One Piece. Well, not the One Piece, but till Alabasta. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't need to know what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter. Right? So I'm like, okay, well, then I realized that I have 1 week to watch from Arlong Pirates to Skypiea. Now Arlong is put it at 60, right? Let's put the Skypiea at 144. Sorry, pretty precise number, right? Got 84 episodes in 7 days. So far, so good. So far, so good. It's not that much, right? A couple episodes here and there, and I have to watch 10 episodes a day, right? And that's the insane part. This, my friend, my friend, is when, again, a madman loses sanity, right? I was talking about schedule before. Yeah, this is where it comes in, right? So I wait, and then I realize I got 4 days to watch not 1, not 10, not 20, not 50, but 90 episodes from 60 to 144, right? Seemed pretty easy, right? Well, not when you have 2 days. So the last 2 days, I didn't make content. I was constantly watching One Piece. Now, in the background, this is good. I'm watching One Piece. I'm playing the tower. I'm watching One Piece. We're transferring a file. I'm watching One Piece. I'm doing some clips. So I got a lot of the behind the scene done, which is great. But I still fucking... Yesterday, I'm not even kidding. We started at 9 o'clock in the morning. We finished at 7. We took a 1 hour break. An hour, 2 hours break. And we've watched it till 1 in the morning this morning. Which is why you don't get the sunrise this morning. There's a real reason. Right? So yeah. So, that being said... I was watching a show. Now you think it's not working. They're still watching a show. It's still watching a show. Because you're like, okay, well, I have to remember, I have to pay attention because it's important, because I have to take notes, and I have to take notes because I have to recap it after, right? And then, luckily for me, I watched Netflix. I just gave it up. I just gave it out. Luckily for me, I have Netflix, which is where I watch One Piece. So I'm on Netflix a bit more than usual, and I see the show, one of my favorite show, Shameless, leaving 3rd March, right? I don't know if you're good at math, but 19, that's 12 days away, okay? We got 9 days left of February. Then we got 3 days of March, that's 12 days, right? Luckily for me, I've watched the first season. We already recapped the first season. So I got 10 seasons, because they finished at 11. I got 10 seasons of 12 episodes of 15 minutes each to recap in... How long was that? Something about 12 days, right? Now, if you want to put even more, you're going to do the little mathematic, right? Little mathematic, we'll do it together. Don't worry about it. We'll do tier 9. So we're going to do it together, right? We're going to do it together because I love you guys, right? So I'm going to take a piece of paper, and we're going to write down 10 times 12, right? Pretty simple. That's 120, right? Cool. Now we're going to do 120 times 50. Now I'm going to teach you something, right? You know that 12 times 5 is 6. So that's 600, right? Pretty good. Now, we're going to divide it by 60 minutes, right? Because an hour is 60 minutes, right? Right. Then you're going to do 60, right? Divided by 60. Now I'm good at math, so that's 10, right? So that's 10 hours, right? 10 hours. Now, you're going to do 10 hours divided by 12, right? Which will give you 0.7, right? That's 7 hours a day that you have to watch it, right? Now, we're extremely lucky. We're extremely lucky because I have Netflix, and like we can do 1.5 times the speed, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do 7 divided by 1.5, right? Now, pretty good at math. That's give me 5. That's to watch 5 hours a day of Netflix, of Shameless every single day. Now I love Shameless. I love Shameless. But understanding that the next 12 days of my universe are gonna contain almost a third of the day. A third of the day that I'm awake watching Shameless. What if I'm called for work tomorrow and I work a night shift? Now it's becoming a day of 10, right? Or 5 times 60, 300, 300 divided by 12. That's 10, that's 8. Right? So after 8, I don't even know. I'm not that good at math. I'm not that good at math. But I'm gonna have to watch more. So, last time I had to watch 12 hours yesterday. I'm gonna be watching 10 hours, right? And this is where the schedule takes apart. I don't have a schedule, but then I do, right? For example, also, my parents are gonna call and say, "Hey, can you call me back?" My mom's gonna call. My mom works at 12, right? When I finish watching the show at 1 o'clock, and I have to do the uploads and I have to do review after that. That is fresh. And I finish at 3. I wake up at 11. She comes down to work in an hour. I'm like, okay, well, then I call my mom. But then I don't want her to know that I'm sleeping that late. So what I end up doing is I wake up and I take a coffee, right? I go in a cold bath to wake up. I can call her. This is what a addict would do. Think about an addict, right? And he smokes a joint. And his eyes are red, right? And before he goes to the party, the family party, he takes some, I don't know what you call it, clear eyes? Eyes clearing? They put some eye drops in his eyes. So they're not red, right? That's what we're doing. So, ask yourself the question, why am I working so much? The last 45 minutes of your life for this simple question. Well, the reality why we're working is because of that. See, the show, I was like, oh, that's a day off. No, it's not a day off. It's not a day off. It's work. The next 60 hours of my life, I'm going to be watching a show. A great show. I love Shameless. But that's something I'm going to have to do, right? Now, if we're filming 3 hours a day, we're filming 4 hours a day. If we're filming 3 hours a day, right? And then I have 2 lives, right? That's 5 hours. Then I have to watch 5 hours of Shameless. That's 10 hours of my day, right? So yeah, that's a long time. How many hours do you work on 5? 8 hours? Okay, cool. Cool. So yeah, so the reason why I work so much is because I feel the need to work so much, right? Now, there's more than that, because if it was only that, it would be so freaking simple. There would be, wait a second. Did we actually make it? Oh, guess what? Give me a sec. That's good. Are we indifferent? We're indifferent too. First rank in both. But it's still 3 hours. There's still 3 hours for people to beat me. We're gonna go back to 9. 9 it is. Perfect. So, the reason why I work so much, and I always told myself, oh, well, there's also the dark type. So the reason why I work working myself is because, I want to do something. I'm older, so I have time to. And you see, since my very beginning, I was always giving reason as to why I was streaming so much. Or then when I miss a day, what is the first thing I'm going to say? I'm sorry for I missed it yesterday. I'm sorry. Because I feel indebted to you guys, because you guys give me a lot, right? Yesterday we had 3 positive comments in one day. On YouTube, on TikTok, I'm going to get a lot. But on TikTok on TikTok, I'm getting more views, because I'm getting more traction. I'm getting more positive comments, but I'm getting also negative comments. On YouTube, if I get 1 comments a day or a week, it's still good, you know? And then you can start wondering why you're working so much, right? And then it's funny because I was watching a documentary 3 days ago about one of the guys that I don't. It's a lolcow, right? So I like watching him, but I also like watching the Distractor, which are people that going after him. And he was talking about his parents, right? And why them being so strict actually disable them to do a lot of things. And I kind of relate to that, right? So I was like, okay, well, I'm able to relate to a guy I don't really like. What am I able to relate to? What have I hidden? Because I never blame my parents for the reason why I'm working so much, right? And I don't think it's their fault. Well, that's not true. I blame my parents because I saw them working and I was like, no, I'm not going to work, right? And this is technically the first job that I had that I really enjoyed. But it's not a job because it doesn't pay. If you talk to my fathers, I'm not working, right? If you talk to my mom, if talking to my dad today, and he asked him, what does your son do for work? My dad's going to say he's not working. If you ask my mom, you ask her, what does your son do for work? I will say he's trying his best. Right? None of them. My mom will sometimes, she'll watch a video or two, but it's not, she won't watch a lot of videos, right? And again, that's not a big deal. But then for my father and I, it was a problem for me before, because my father, back in last year, right? So it's complicated. My father, he's retired, and he doesn't like really retiring. My father was again a slave to his job, never had really had friends. So I'm kind of his. My father's a good guy, but we have a really weird relationship. Sometimes I'm at his home, and the girlfriend, with whom he's been with for 20-something years, 26 years to be honest, she'll text him and no answer. Like, oh, why are you doing that, Dad? Oh, we'll talk tonight. But then when I text him, when I call him right away, hey, what's up? And then when I come to his house, he'll talk to me. He won't talk to her. Like, oh, that's not cool, Dad. And so now he has to renovate the apartment upstairs because he has a buyer, right? He'll tell you, oh, I didn't finish the job. No, he has a buyer. He has a buyer. That's why he's fixing it. There's no motivation behind it. Motivation is money-wise. So he's fixing it, and he's like, okay, well. But otherwise, he would call me almost every day. And I was like, dude, you're asking me how I am. But I'm making fucking 20 videos a day talking about how I am. You will watch one of them a day. And that was last year. Now I understand that this is not something healthy to do. It's not something healthy to do. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you about some of my friends. And we're going to talk about that. My father would have what if he's doing well? Because he's not doing well, right? He doesn't have to watch a video. You can ask him, watch the videos, right? Then I'm talking about my friends, about Carl, one of my best friends. And again, I told this story multiple times before, but he had an accident, a motorcycle. Like a big accident. There's screws in his knees right now. It's like my father. And I remember calling him out of the blue because I missed him. Say, hey, how are you, dude? So I'm bedridden. I'm like, why? Oh, I had an accident on a motorcycle. I said, what the fuck? Why didn't you tell me? And it was like, I didn't think you cared. I'm like, why don't you think I cared? Well, I posted about it on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, so I didn't know. Right? Then and it was sad because I'm like, fuck, right? He seemed like he thought I was on Facebook and I had him. And I just didn't care enough to watch his story, right? Then I had one of my best friends, Celine. And Celine was like, she invited me to a birthday party, and the night of the birthday party, she's like, oh, you didn't come. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't send me the information. I don't know where you live. And she's like, yeah, but I sent it on Facebook. And I'm like, I don't use Facebook, Say, oh, well, fuck. And then she felt bad about it, but she still asked me why I didn't come, right? Shao, my other best friend, right? Shao, you guys see me talking about Shao like he's some kind of fucking great dude. He is a great dude, but one of the reasons why I like Shao so much is because he saw me at my worst. Carl saw me when I was depressed. Celine, she didn't really see me at my worst, but Celine is different. Celine is a person that is more reliant than, and I love her. She's more reliant than reliable. So reliant is somebody that's help, that you need help. However, when Celine doesn't need help, she won't ask. So if she's doing well, she'll spend like 5, 6, 7 months without asking for favor, right? And then she'll say, hey, Steph, I'm not doing okay. Can we talk? I'm like, sure, And so that was something that was really, I'm really grateful for that, because somebody that needs help constantly, like, fuck, right? Shao, because he saw me at my worst, Carl saw me at my worst emotionally, but Shao saw me at my worst as a whole. My worst as a whole was constantly thinking about content, obsessed, not sleeping, not drinking, not wanting to chill with him because I was filming videos, right? And he forgave me for that, right? And then those are social thing, right? Those are social thing. But even then, like I just mentioned in this video, like I don't call people first. I'll see them first. I'll spend 3 months not talking to Shao. Then I'll text him, hey bro, how are you? They're like, yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Carl, I haven't talked to him in almost. Well, we talked to each other like a month ago, not a month ago, 2 weeks ago, and I was like, dude, how's it going? And it's like, I haven't talked to this guy in a year, literally a year, and it was like nothing ever happened. Or Celine, if she's, Celine's single, right? And she feels lonely or she's bored, she'll text me. But when she's in a relationship, she won't text me for 3-4 months, which is, it's okay, it's her life, right? So you're like, okay. And then it's funny because I'm the same way. I don't text people, right? And I'm like, well, that's my social aspect. So during the last three days where I didn't have the, I was working. I didn't talk to nobody, right? So when I come in and make a video, the video that I'm doing is gonna be an hour and a half. And you're like, oh, why are you talking so much? Well, I didn't talk to people for 3 days. So when we talk about why we're working so much, well, the social aspect to it is very different. I was watching a video, and it was incredible video. In 9 hours video of Steve of the Dead. Steve of the Dead is a DSP distractor. DSP is the guy I was talking about. The guy that I associate with his parents leaving him. Oh, they were too strict. And it's funny because Steve of the Dead's video of 9 hours, there was a certain moments. And the weirdest thing about it is, I was watching it, there was a white noise. Do I remember everything that he said in the 9 hours? No way. Fuck no. However, he did say something that I cared about. And he said, with Phil, he was saying more of the story. He was more reserved. He was less reserved because he didn't have anybody to talk to, right? And Steve was like, oh, you can tell that he was alone because he talked too much. Well, yeah, he said he talked too much. I was gonna sugarcoat it, but that's what he said. I was like, holy fuck, maybe that's why I'm talking so much. Right? And I won't lie. The reason why we're working so much, one of the reasons is because, again, it is a way to socialize. It is a way to talk to people. It is a way to get my state of thought out there. Like, for example, right? Think about it. Think about yourself. You're having a bad day, right? You're going to check out the time. Holy shit, already 52 minutes. You have this bad day, right? And you had a bad day. And it doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter, you were feeling this, you were feeling that. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you had a bad day. And because you had a bad day, you're gonna be in a miserable mood. And the next day you're like, oh fuck, I don't feel good. And then you're mean to people and like, why is she so mean? Or why is he so mean? Because you didn't talk about it, right? You didn't get it off your chest, so it's still on your chest. It's still something that bothers you, right? So and it's so crazy. It's so insane. It's so insane. Because I'll put it out there. If I'm having a good day, I'll vent about it. May have a bad day, so I'll vent about it. I'll vent about me having a bad day. And then it doesn't matter to who I'm talking because somebody's gonna be watching it. It's so stranger. I'm not gonna know. So the girl I was talking about before, my ex, she was watching all my videos and I was like, holy shit, that's a bit too close. And I was like, I don't want you to yeah, okay. I don't want you to be that knowledgeable on how I feel. I don't want you, we just met each other, right? It's a new relationship. I don't want you to know how I feel. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna say, hey, here's this and this and this. I'll talk to you and we'll have a normal conversation. I'm gonna talk about somebody normal, right? I'm not gonna talk about how I feel. Like, hey, you know what? I'm feeling nauseous. I don't know what I ate, right? Maybe that's something that you should do. Maybe that's normal. I don't know, but I don't feel the need to say, hey, this, right? Now make a video and then she'll watch it like, oh, that's how you feel, huh? I'm like, oh, dude. I was talking to you, and then I'm like, fuck, But it's a good thing because it showed that she was interested, right? And when I talk to people, and again, the 3 comments yesterday that was super positive. It's a nice blessing. Now I'm getting more and more popular, and it's it's nice because like I hope that, well, from what I'm seeing so far, most of what we're seeing is kind of positive, right? So that's actually pretty good. So yeah, so that's A. B, possibly the fact that I promised myself I wouldn't bring my parents into this, but I have to. The B is my mom. My mom constantly have to go out. The last time we go out, we were supposed to go to Fairview together, and I hurt my knee. Right, I hurt my knee. And it was bad. It was bad because, again, it did. See, when you hurt your knee and you're getting, when you hurt your knee and you're getting fatter, the most of the weight's gonna be on the knees. It's not gonna be on the feet. It's gonna be on the knees. So they're already dealing with a lot of weight. So when there's a pain, it's accentuated. So I go to my mom's, and my mom, she's like, "Oh, it's the same that you." And she said it a couple times. She said it 4 or 5 times, right? I stayed there for 6 hours. She said 4 or 5 times. It's like, shame we cannot go to Fairview. And I told her, "Ma, why do you need to go out?" And she did that to it with my ex stepfather too. She would always go out, always go out every single weekend, and I'm with her. I see her 2 days out of 14, and we need to go to a party. We need to go to a party. We need to go with some of her friends. Why? And then I asked her. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I never asked her before, right? I don't know why, but I never asked her before. And I asked her, "Mom, why do you always feel the need to constantly move around?" She's like, "Well, I don't like not doing anything." So maybe I said offset of ADHD, because if I'm being... it's okay, so it's complicated because it's not confirmed. My mom, I believe my mom, and again, I love her. I believe my mom has undiagnosed ADHD. I believe so. Because you'll talk to her, and then you said, "What did I just say?" She won't know, right? Or we'll watch a movie and she'll talk. Or we'll eat supper and she'll talk. She'll cut people off and talk. So I believe she has undiagnosed ADHD. But at the same time, it's hard because she works at the office job. I'm like, how do you do it? How do you manage, right? And I think my case is... So what I do believe is that I got ADHD and my mom possibly have... it's complicated. My mom is an amazing human being. She'll be able to listen to you for... I don't know. I know that she has ADHD because I know it's from her. But I don't know to a degree. My case is a bit more pronounced than hers. My father, no way. My father will sit around for days and watch TV. You won't mind. Or sit around for days and just drink a beer. Just enjoy. My father, it's crazy. My father will work all summer long to have a good garden. And that's it. That's insane. But again, that's him. So I respect that. My father will work all summer long to have a nice garden. Right? Just for a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks of him being able to watch the garden and sip a beer. I'll sit on his balcony and watch it. I'll sip a beer. I'm like, you just work for 4 months for what? For 2 weeks? That makes him happy, right? So I believe that I'm not... And it's not necessarily the fact of... Okay, we're going to add this. It's not necessarily the fact of... It's not necessarily the fact of being bored, but it's also how you apply your time, right? There's a uncertainty. Like, for example, right? I've been staying in an apartment for a while, right? And thank God that we're doing this, but I noticed that and this is not last year, this is not 10 years ago, this is this year. This is possibly December, yeah. So this summer, for the first time in my entire life, and this is guaranteed, I really went out. So before, what I would do, I would go for a night stroll, and I would just go for an hour, 2 hours, just go out. Now we spent entire night outside. We spent entire night or entire morning watching the sunrise, right? And I really like it, and I really, really like it. The balcony was of no use to me. It was this place that I didn't use, but now we're filming from the balcony because I think it's better. Or I want to go out, right? Now, this summer I went out a lot, right? What happened in the winter was that I didn't go out as much. So for 2 or 3 weeks, I wouldn't go out. And weirdly speaking, I had a moment of agoraphobia. I had a moment of I went to leave the apartment. And I'm like, holy shit! I saw the corridors, and they were disproportionate. So they were kind of closing in. They were kind of going out, closing in, and I know it's in my brain, but they were really okay. They're gonna be disgusting, but hey, they were. You see this, right? You see how I can push it, right? No, it's harder. No, okay. I'll do this. Yeah, I'll do this. Perfect. It's actually way better. A coffee pot and a yogurt. So this is the corridor, right? In the corridor, we're literally doing this. You understand? Like, holy shit. And I had agoraphobia. And now I should go out. I went out today because it was a nice weather. I spent 4 days and it felt like an eternity that I haven't gone out. So now this is healthier, but at the same time, when I go out, I have a hard time saying I'm afraid that I'm gonna come back into that agoraphobia. Because when I had my depression at 22 years old, I had agoraphobia. I spent a year and a half in my apartment, only leaving to go download some things, only leaving to get some food, but barely leaving, right? And I was playing video games, and it was the best of times. And why is that so important is because I remember having an extreme case of agoraphobia. Like, the real reason why I was staying up at night is because I didn't have to deal with people, right? So when I'm working so much is because I think I'm afraid of dealing with people. This is the one way that I found to socialize with people without socializing with people. Like, okay, well, this video has 10 views, 10 people has known what I was saying, or 10 people just clicked out, right? It doesn't matter. But I got to say what I wanted to 10 people, so 10 people heard what I had to say. I feel heard, right? Which is completely crazy, but that's the way it is. So coming back to the agoraphobia, see the feeling of agoraphobia, right? And it's nuts because that's crazy. It's nuts because I had a feeling of agoraphobia, right? I was like, okay, well, I need to go out. But when I went out and I started doing live on TikTok, because I was like, okay, I need to go out. What can I do during that time? I can film. But then I did a couple of walks a day. So I would do 30 minutes of walk a day. And the craziest thing is I was staying in for the winter. So like, okay, well, my first thing, right? My first thing was, and that's the craziest part. This is insanity. My first thing was, okay, so if I'm going out, right? I'm going to go out and I'm going to watch nature. So during the winter, I'm like, I'm going to go out and I need to see something. But then it's winter, so I'm not going to go out for a while. So what can I film? So we started going for 30 minutes walks. So I did once 30 minutes. Because it was winter, instead of going out to see this, I did to something else. So we would do 3 to 4 hours of talking, right? So when you get that, you get tired of talking. Talk for 5 hours a day, every single day, you'll get tired, trust me. And I have to go live on TikTok. Like, if nobody comes in. If somebody comes in, I have somebody to talk to, And it worked. People were it was nice to talk to people while walking. But then I was like, holy shit. And my first thought was like, wow, I should have done this. And I actually said that in the video, and that's something I regret. I said, I should have been live since day one for doing the video. Wasn't the nature enough? If I wasn't filming, would I have gone out that much? And the answer is no. The answer is no. I'm no longer satisfied. No longer satisfied with just doing this and that, right? And I don't know why I'm doing that. I don't know why. I know one of the reasons I think that I did that is because I'm not depressed, but I never died. I never like really cured my depression. So I'm not depressed, but so when you're depressed, you have the symptoms, right? And those symptoms, when they're not cured, they become part of who you are, right? So, for example, somebody that's I don't know, somebody that has a sickness, right? And I don't know. It's a hard one to talk about. For example, a lot of the activity that I do, a lot of the action that I do it because I have ADHD. But it's not true. I'm like, oh, I have ADHD, so it's okay. But it's not okay, right? So with depression, I took out. So the depression was awful. Let's talk about depression a little bit. How do you feel? So depression was crazy. But this also makes sense as to why I'm working so much, right? The depression was crazy. Depression, the first thing that's going to feel is your lungs filling with water. Because it's going to be hard to breathe. It's going to be really hard to breathe. You're in such a shock because of the emotion that you have a hard time breathing. Your whole body goes into, it's crazy, your whole body goes into shock and you have a problem breathing. And I know I'm repeating myself, but trust me. And like, oh, fuck. And then you feel like you're drowning because, so when you're in water, you have a harder time to move, right? So because you have a hard time to move, a hard time to breathe because of your shock, your body thinks it's swimming or it's drowning, right? Because if you were swimming, you could breathe, but now you can't breathe, you're drowning. Right? The second thing is, you don't get the same joy from food, right? You don't get some joy from food. So you saw me eating junk food, right? you saw me eating junk food, and again, it's all part of the concept of why I'm working so much. Oh, we died ranked number one, obviously. Um, so the food, you saw me eating junk food, and I was buying loads and loads of junk food, and I was testing them, and then you saw me tasting the same food twice, tasting the same food three times. Do you really think that I needed to do that three times? No, it was an excuse to eat junk food, right? It's like, well, if I film it, it's okay, right? If I need to go out, but I film, it's okay. I'm bored today, so I'm gonna film, right? It's all making it okay. So food, because it didn't have the same taste, so because it didn't give you the same pleasure, you want more. So you realize that your problem with food, your addiction to food, is not necessarily a feeling of. It's quite complex. It's quite, when you think about it, it's really, really, really a beautiful complexity. So because you're depressed, the food that you taste doesn't really satisfy you, right? So when you eat food, there's a certain joy to eating food. Think about yourself eating a good meal versus yourself eating a bad meal. It's a total different reaction, right? So because you're depressed, the food doesn't taste as good. Now the reality is the food tastes the same, right? But you're just not able to enjoy it a lot more. So, for example, for a person that's looking for comfort in food, the fact that they're not able to find comfort in certain food, what will they do? They'll eat more and more and more and more because they're not able to stop, because they're looking for that release, if you will, right? That release. So again, that explains why I'm filming food. Third one. With depression, you feel like your body is heavy. You have a hard time to move. You have a hard time to get out of bed. Finding motivation. Right. This is also why we're working so much. You see me. How many times did I do a video? And again, it's all documented. And then I started doing a weight loss, and I didn't finish it because I was feeling what I was feeling is hard to move. Because I was feeling harder to move, I had a hard time to. I had a need to move more. It's like losing something. For example, somebody that's losing their sight or losing their earrings, they'll stress out because that's something they know. But if you take a person that's blind from birth, they will not miss seeing things because they never saw things, right? That's simple logic. So another sense, right? Now again, that's the depression side of it. That's because it never was healed. There's still some habit that I have, right? The habits that I have. I can point my addiction to porn to depression because I didn't want to go out of the house. I didn't want to talk to people, but I still had physical needs, right? I could pinpoint my problem with food, right? With depression, right? Because again, that's what it was. I can pinpoint my need to work to depression, and that's the nicest thing. In depression, you don't do shit, right? Now, I went from working 8 hours a day and streaming, so that's 15 hours. But at the same time, that was a beautiful thing. That was a beautiful thing. That was the best time of my life because the working, although I did like it, but I didn't like it as much as the making content, right? Um, it was obligation. It was the classic want versus need. You need to work to pay the bills, but you want to do content, right? With working, I had to work 8 hours, and I was like, dude, I haven't filmed today. I know I'm tired, but I have to force my way through. So even though I was doing 4 hours a day, and that's one of the reasons why I'm working so much, because we're doing 4 hours a day. I still feel like I did something, but it's not enough. Right now that I'm not working as much, or I'm not working at all, some days, most of the days actually, there's always this feeling of, did I do enough today? Was my day productive? I think that's a better expression. Was my day productive? And I guess it's a question of habits. If you're spending months and months and months of having, or a full year last year of making content every single day, then you're like, okay, well, my day was productive because I'm fucking tired and I did something productive, which is making content, right? That's what it is. That's what it is. That's the reason why we're working so much, because we don't have this feeling of accomplishment. That's another thing. And the very last one, because again, we already went through a lot to digest over here. One of the reason is that you don't feel like you're enough. You don't feel like you. you don't feel like you're enough. I feel there's a lot of my time. There's a lot of days in my life where I didn't feel like I was enough, right? And I think that's why I was so on my own, because I was tired of disappointing people. So I'm like, okay, well, if there's nobody to disappoint, I'm not gonna disappoint people, right? And because you don't feel like you're enough, you never feel like what you're doing is good enough, right? When I get compliments, like a lot of time where, and again, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm grateful for it. The time where I'm going to be watching my notification, I'm going to be watching people, the same amount of people, the same people every single day, liking a dozen of my videos. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't watch it. Now, I'm not saying watch it because I know it's not possible, but I'm like, dude, like, I appreciate what you're doing, but you're doing it because you like me, not because you like the content. That feels a bit weird. And although I feel loved, I don't feel like what I'm doing is good enough, right? And that's another story. That's another fucking cake, right? And you put yourself through that, and you're like, okay, well, you know, that's kind of that's not kind of shitty, but you know. And when you feel like there's again, is a fucking fight or flight response. I feel like what I'm doing is not enough. I feel like I'm not enough. I feel like I'm not strong enough, and what I'm dealing with or what I'm facing is stronger than me. So what I'm doing? Am I facing the problem, or am I running away? And my mindset is to face a problem. So facing the problem is what? Making more content and more content and more content until we're tired enough to say fuck it. I think we're done for today. But then the next day, the same feeling of emptiness, the same feeling of I'm not enough is there, right? It's tough, dude. It's tough. There's always this. I'm dealing with a duality of I need to justify myself, but I need to prove myself also. So I prove myself, and when it's good, it's good. When it's not bad, when it's not good, I justify myself. But then justifying yourself seems weak. So there's a difference between justifying yourself or explaining yourself. There's a difference. I have this idea, people don't agree. I am sorry, I explain why. I have this idea, people don't agree. It's okay. Here's what I'm thinking. If you don't agree, that's too bad. Right? But then when you're seeing this later, you think like you're an asshole. But no, people will not agree. Yesterday, I had a follower from years ago. I've been making content for 4 years, people. And I had a notification on my YouTube and he was following again. And I'm like, okay, well, I remember we had a lot of problem together. So usually when I see a person following, I'm like, wow, that is so cool. We're at 600 today. Not today. We're at 596 today. So possibly this week we'll be at 600 followers on YouTube, right? And it's great. But when I saw that guy, I was like, fuck, a lot of problem this time. I'm not gonna block him. Or there's this girl on Netflix, on TikTok, and that was a bit harder. And this girl was really nice too. She was really nice to me too. It was a really good friendship. And I started making content for a while. And then I was seeing a lot of my people were unfollowing. And at first I was like, fuck, I worked so hard last year just for you guys to unfollow. Which again is a negative emotion. I agree with that, but still, I'm being truthful. And so you go into your following list and you see who's not following. And I saw her name and she unfollowed. I'm like, holy shit, we were close. What happened? And I cared about her because we were really close once again. I'm like, fuck, that sucks, bro. And then what ended up happening is she refollowed around Christmas, but I already knew that she unfollowed. And then I did a live stream, and it was the first live stream that we did back was the February. It was the 18th February. The 18th January, because it was the death of TikTok on the USA side. And I think the next week when I made live, she was there and she refollowed. She's like, hey, I missed you. And I cared about that person. I'm like, yeah, you missed me, but you unfollowed. And I don't know what it means. You know? But then again, it's working into the justifying in the promotion. Okay, I have to go to the bathroom. We're going to end the video here. So thank you for watching. Once again, those are some of the reasons why I work so hard. There's a lot of other reasons. But for now, this is what I'm thinking. And I think the way we're thinking right now is important. Right? So the need of justification. right? Just finish with that. It's a perfect way to finish this. Because again, I'm able to finish this video and I'm able to say, okay, that's enough for today, you know? But yeah, it's important. The state of mind is important because right now this is the way I feel. Maybe next year I'll feel like, hey, I'm working too much for this, right? There was a very almost traumatic experience last week. Almost traumatic experience. I was watching my gallery of photo, and I was watching because I don't delete photos, and I was watching months and months of different picture of food we tasted and video that we make it. And oh, I remember this video. And I was like, dude, I used to be so happy making videos. And I want to get back there. I love making videos. But, okay, I love making videos, yes. But if it is to encourage bad behavior, if it is to encourage some of the things that I should heal, it's like going to the AA, knowing that you're going to drink after. What is the point? So, I feel like sometimes I make videos and it's a coping mechanism. And I don't want to do something because it's a coping mechanism. I want to do something because I enjoy it. And we're on the road to redemption. We're on the road to get that back. To get our mojo back. Anyway, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Thanks for watching, by the way. Okay, cool. To the bathroom. Freaking... Coffee. Oh, feels good. Okay, so now gotta do something important. It's gonna change the world. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, let's go. Okay, how much percentage do you have? 25%. Holy shit. Good. Good. Hello there. Good. That's perfect. Okay, good. Okay. What the fuck? Okay, I'm hearing in mouse. For fuck's sakes. Why do I care? 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 Okay. Yellow. Okay, it's good. Choo choo choo. Okay, that's how it goes. Okay, good. Uh-huh. Oh, guess what? Good. Press the option to quit. Okay. Toot toot toot. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do 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 do. Two. Wait, what? I had a save file. Wait, what? Okay. Okay, so now. Okay, sorry about this, guys. Trying to figure out how this works. Okay. My apologies. Okay. X. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is save. Okay, so now you have to redo this one. And now we'll see how I can get. Okay. So what if I did this? Then I have to check out if it's working. If I can't save, I'm gonna have a problem. Okay. Get batteries. Okay, again, 20% shit. Sharp radius. Good. Where's my favorites? There we go, favorites. Haha. Oh. Oh, okay. Load state. Okay, so now what you have to do? Good, I got an ID. Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay. 19. Holy. Oh, health. Spotlight damage. Good. Okay, 9. Shit, I'm still at 9. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Don't feel. Ooh, don't blink if you blink. Welcome to another Welcome to the show. It's been having a wonderful day on this 19th February 2025. Your boy is dead tired, but we're gonna make it last video because y'all deserve it. And when I say y'all, I mean y'all. Very, very, very thoroughly. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. That's just the way we roll on the road to rock and roll. That was cringe as fuck. Sorry about that. Today we are doing a video about a movie called Rainfield, starring Nicolas Cage, and I'm sorry, but I forgot the name of the other guy. Although he plays in a lot of good movies like Jack and the Giant, Love Zombie. Oops, we have it or not. He plays in a lot of good movie. So I'm sorry I forgot your name, but hey, so the movie of Rainfield actually a complex movie. I wouldn't say I loved it, but actually quite a good. There's a lot of good things that I love. There's a lot of things that I like about Rainfield. However, the movie in itself left me a bit disappointed. I had really high expectations for him. Okay. For him, I'm talking about Nicolas Cage. So Nicolas Cage is one of those characters, one of those real life characters that were really, really popular in Hollywood for a while, for a long ass time. And then they stopped making movies, right? And then they start making movie on their own. So one of my favorite movies is one of my favorite movies that I saw recently was The Weight of Incredible Talent with Pedro Pascal. And it was a really good movie. So Johnny Cage has been doing movie where he showcases his talents as an actor, but it's not like Hollywood. It's really so much niche. It's really like, I would say, artistic movie versus commercial movie. So I'm talking about a Marvel movie which is very commercial. There's a lot of aspect to it. There's a lot of games, there's a lot of heroes, there's a lot of toys. It's very commercial. Versus a movie like Longlegs, which is very, very, very scary. I want to check out if I can get Longlegs on Netflix. Longlegs. So I saw a couple of his movies. One of them was Parents, where there's a virus where parents want to kill their children, which is very, very good. I don't remember if I did the recap. Did I do the recap? Okay, now I'm gonna have to be, because if I didn't do it, I'm gonna have to do it after this. So it's gonna be Long Leg. No, we don't have it. Okay, and I'm gonna go and this. I'm gonna go. Well, yeah, give me a sec. So with the movie that Nicolas Cage did with Rainfield, he plays the role of Dracula. Dracula is once again such a historic moment, and I don't remember if Nicolas Cage played the vampire before. It's kind of like a big deal. And okay, give me a sec because I want to focus. Parents. I didn't do the movie. Okay, so you know what? Welcome to double the fun, double the experience, double the Nicolas Cage movie, double Nicolas Cage review. Don't know how I'm gonna do it, but should I do two different video? Let's do two different video. Fuck. I see. This is the pretense of we making content. We're planning on live. Okay, so he did a movie called Parents, and that movie was really good. But again, that movie was kind of more artsy. He did a movie on Longlegs, which was a great movie, but again, very artsy. So with Rainfield, I was like, okay, well, Dracula is actually pretty popular. I saw the ads, and it's actually a really good movie. So Rainfield is the servant of Dracula, and he has to feed Dracula. So Dracula is very weak, and Rainfield is basically in charge of bringing him his meal. right? During the movie, Dracula gets more and more and more and more powers thanks to Rainfield, and he's able to once again. The concept is good. The movie is good, but it's not a great movie. There's a lot of things to like. There's a lot of things to dislike. So the servant brings the blood to Dracula, who gets some strength, and the servant is dealing with the fact that he may be reviving one of the biggest monsters of humanity. Dracula is not a good guy, right? So as the movie goes on, Dracula gets some more strength, and he's more able to take care of Rainfield. So Rainfield acts heroically, right? And then he meets a police officer, which is I don't remember her name, but she's a woman. And she tells him, hey, you were heroic today. And then Rainfield's like, yo, I'm not a monster. Maybe I'm not a monster. And the most beautiful part about Rainfield is he is afraid of Dracula. He knows how strong he is. So the fact that he signed a contract with Dracula in the beginning was a lawyer, right? So you learn that he signed a contract with the devil, and Dracula's like, yo, you're going to serve me. And he was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm going to serve you if you give me rich and fame. Right? End up losing both of his wife and his daughter, and he became a familiar, not really a vampire, but a familiar, which is you're signing like a contract, and you get stronger, and you have eternal life. So you're kind of like a vampire, but not really. So the servant and the vampire lore, or almost H.P. Lovecraft, is a servant or a familiar is a person that's going to take care of the business during the day. So the vampires are always going to be busy at night, and the familiar are going to be like, okay, well, you cannot be taking care of things on the day. So if people were to rebel, they would go on days. So we're going to take care of the day. So because Rainfield is afraid of Dracula, he's going to be like, well, guess what? I have to serve him. And the best part about it is he go to a meeting where he's talking about, like, fuck. We saw that movie last week and I don't even remember. Toxic something. I don't know if it's toxic relationship or toxic, like, bosses. But I know that has something to do with toxic, let's call it a toxic bond. Not a toxic relationship, not a toxic boss, but a toxic bond. That way I don't make a mistake. And they tell them, yo, you're giving him the power. You're giving him the power to take over for you. You're giving the power to control you. You're giving the power to be abusive towards you, which is true. So you're like, okay, well, so Rainfield's like, yeah, I don't have to do it. So the best part of the movie is Rainfield, what it was called heroic. It was like, yeah, I'm not a monster. And when he understands he's not a monster, he starts to disconnect himself from from Dracula, right? And I think that's a really interesting thing because Dracula is seen as a monster. Rainfield sees himself as a monster, but also so Nicolas Cage, who is really smart in this movie. That's why I want to talk about Parents. So Parents also is the movie that he did, and Parents is the fact that the parents have a virus, and the virus is the parents wanting to fuck up their children because they represent the next step in evolution. So the kids with their genes are a better version of their parents, and because they're a better version of their parents, they have to kill the parents to assert dominance. Right? It's in the animal kingdom. So with Rainfield, the second that Rainfield starts seeing himself as something not toxic, but kind of a good part, he starts wanting to be a hero again. And the hero again is, okay, well, I have to take care of Dracula. And I know I'm the only person that can take care of Dracula, right? So there's a couple of things that are on the movie that are a bit kind of, like the part that I didn't like, for example. Well, let's finish with the positive, because there's a lot of positives left. I think the casting is really good. I think the police officer, she's picture perfect of a cop that isn't really like this authoritative figure. She's a cop, but she's not like in your face. She's like a cop that's like, okay, well, I understand why you're nothing major, right? And with Rainfield is also somebody that he's looking for whatchamacallit. He's looking for approbation. He's looking for, because he's been alone since he lost his wife and kid. He has been alone. So the fact that these two are together and these two are kind of going through some shit. For example, the girl, she lost her father. Rainfield is serving somebody that he doesn't love. So these two are dealing with some shit, which is actually quite nice. Then what ends up happening is she tells him, hey, you remind me of like you're very heroic. So he's becoming a good guy. So then because she's like that, she sees the good in him and is able to trust him, which ultimately serves her purpose, right? The thing I didn't like is with Dracula, the movie wants it to be like a okay. The movie has undertone of toxic relationship versus authority figure versus a relationship. So there's a toxic relationship where Dracula takes advantage of Rainfield, but Rainfield is too scared to leave him, so he stay with him. Almost his Stockholm syndrome, right? So what I didn't like was I would have preferred a movie where we're only escaping Dracula, but then Dracula finds himself some other servant, and because he's able to serve other servant, Rainfield is able to finish him. Why is that a problem? Is because you never feel like Rainfield really gotten he really got in. So it's a weird thing to say, but for example, Rainfield and Dracula is in a gay relationship. The relationship, it's not like, oh, I was able to find to get out of this relationship. It's like, no, the other person finds somebody else. My partner find another person. So it's like Rainfield never really got the closure of not being with Dracula. And in the movie, you can actually say that. It's like, oh, I'm done serving you. I'm done serving you. I'm going to be the one that destroy you. But when he says that, Dracula's like, yeah, okay, but I have other familiar now. I don't need you anymore. It's not about Rainfield anymore, right? So like, the moment of climax of the person leaving the toxic relationship is stolen by a person that's not there. So the criminal side of things is there's a criminal, there's a guy called Rainfield. Okay, so it's complicated. So there's there are a bunch of criminals, right? And he stopped them. Remember the heroic act that Rainfield did? I don't think he killed them, but he beats them up. Those and there's almost a hint of, okay, well, those are bad people. They're going to be to Dracula dinner. He didn't want to stop them, but he had to bring Dracula dinner. There's an hint of that. I don't know if it's true. So he goes in and he fucks up those people, and then the police starts like, "Oh, you're really nice. Those are bad people." It's like they were. I did something good, and that's why I think that he didn't do it because he wanted to save people. You know, he did it because he had to. So those people are led by two people, like the mother and the son. Now the son wants to prove himself to the mother, and that's actually a really positive point. I'm gonna go back to it later on. Why is it a positive point? Okay, let's go it now. The son trying to prove himself to his mom is like Rainfield trying to prove himself to this friend, like the police officer, right? And his mom's like, "Yo, I'm having on this other organization. You're supposed to inherit. Are you ready?" And then finally, what happened is, and again, that's something that I didn't like. Even if it's a criminal, you want the guy to be like, "Okay, well, I inherit the king of evil because I deserve it." But then he finds a power thanks to Dracula. And because he found a power thanks to Dracula, his mom's like, "Oh, you're so strong. Take my kingdom." Right? No, it doesn't work like that. And at the end, it's kind of cool because the ending scene, they did a scene with Rainfield kicking the guy, which is really cool because they do it at fatality. So they copy Mortal Kombat, which is really good. Also, they take weapons and torture Dracula, which is really cool. But yeah, the movie left me wanting something more. Right? But it's a good movie. And that's pretty much my review. So there you go. Rainfield. Oh. Don't blink. If you blink. Welcome to the Come to Radar Show. Because you guys are doing well. So having a wonderful day on this 19th February 2025. We're doing part 2 of our Nicolas Cage special. So we watched 2 movies of Nicolas Cage. The first one was Rainfield. The second one is Parents. So again, I grew up in the 90s. So if you grew up in the 90s, you know Nicolas Cage from National Treasure, from Ghost Rider, from a lot of fucking movie. From what was it? Con Air? I think it's Con Air, but I'm not sure. Really good actor, really popular. He did some movie with Travolta, which was a really good one. He's a very popular one. And then, for some reason, he disappeared from Hollywood, and we weren't seeing him in movies. And then Nicolas Cage started doing movie on his own, and those are very more so artsy movie than Hollywood movie. So they're really pushing a purpose of, hey, I'm an artist, right? So we saw a couple of movies. One of them that was really good was Parents. Parents is a movie that I watched way back. Back when I wasn't doing review for movies, which is way back. So Parents is, again, a movie from Nicolas Cage, and it's more so an artsy movie, but you don't even recognize him from it. Like, holy shit, this is a good one. So there's a virus that's going on, and all of the movie, this is so good. This is so freaking good. This is so fucking good. All the 2 movies that we saw from Nicolas Cage lately, which was the movie with Pedro Pascal, which was the Unbelievable Weight of Talent. We saw Rainfield. Oh, I'm at 5%. Well, bloopers. 5%. Shit.